Dear Salem, what is it you're looking for? Are you looking for connection? Are you looking for a welcoming community? Are you looking for a place to ask your questions and explore your doubt and faith? Are you looking for spiritual healing? Are you looking for peace in your heart during turbulent times? Are you looking for a place to know and live out your purpose? Are you looking for something to believe in or someone to turn to? If so, Mary, Queen of the Apostles, is here for you, in person, online, in conversation, in worship. We offer you welcome, healing, and belonging. Come and see how God can change your life right here in our historic city. With love, Mary, Queen of the Apostles Parish.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our celebration here for Mary, Queen of the Apostles. We can consider this kind of like a gala. I looked up the word gala today, and it said an event or celebration of something. So I feel like this counts, right? Don't you think?
I think so.
Okay. So from my first, I'm going to be sort of guiding you through the night. I'll be your hostess with the mostess, fingers crossed. And my first job is to introduce my colleagues and friends who are going to be with me here tonight. Oh, I should say I'm Margot Morin. I'm the pastoral associate. Good start. Here at Mary Queen of the Apostles Parish in Salem, Massachusetts. I am so glad you're here with us, whether you're watching now or from the future. We're happy that you're here with us. Also, in the square below me or next to me, maybe depending on you, is our pastor, Father Bob Murray. Say hi, Father Bob.
Hello, everybody. With you.
And behind, also in the square, is Stephen Antonio. He's our director of family engagement.
Say hi. Good evening.
Stephen is also, you may also know Stephen from such meals as Alpha Meals, where we know him as Chef Stephen, and from Online Alpha, where we know him as the tech guy, as he has kept us online, and hopefully will do so tonight, all night. And Father Murray, you may hear me call him Father Murray or Father Bob or FM. We just call him whatever comes to our minds, and he always answers, which is nice. So thank you both for being here with me tonight.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'm impressed with your backgrounds. Everyone's been very careful to have nice backgrounds behind them and good lighting. So this is going to go perfectly, I think.
So smooth.
So smooth. Okay, so Father Murray, why don't you tell us what this is, what we're doing here?
Thanks, Margot, and thanks, Steve, for your work in getting us here, and Margot for your hosting us this evening. So, yeah, we want to say welcome to everybody. Why are we here? And I think it's a great question. I think that what we're doing is we just want to gather everyone online tonight to celebrate who we are right now as a parish, as we're growing into our fourth year now, and who we are becoming. And so we also want to thank you, and then want to show you a little bit of the fruit, some of the fruits of your support. And over the next 90 minutes or so, that's what we're going to be doing. So we're celebrating who we are. What I mean by that is that we are becoming a parish that's known for our evangelization, for our healing, and we do that with our hospitality, with our welcoming, with our programs, whether we reach out to and help those who are in our parish to continue to deepen and strengthen their relationship with Jesus Christ, to grow to become better disciples of Jesus Christ. And we are also people who look beyond our parish to evangelize, to bring the message of Jesus Christ to those who have not heard of him, or do not know him, or have forgotten about him, or feel alienated from him. And so this evening is about remembering our why, who we are, and a little bit to show you all a little bit of what and how we accomplish our why. And we also, again, thanking you. All of the work that we do actually is a result of support. from generous donors, people who are online right now with us, people who, again, as Margot said, may be watching us in the future. They are people who are basically have very faithfully been decided to share some of their treasure, some of their time, and some of their talent to be with us, to help us to grow as a parish. And it's phenomenal to watch this. Actually, this is one of the most things that's most moving to me, that the people are so generous to the parish, both in the from week to week, but also too in bequests and generous donations of different types, of different sizes, at different times. It's phenomenal to see it. And so thank you very, very much for all of your generous support. And then
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you have more?
a little bit more, if that's okay.
90 minutes here, Father Murray.
Right, only minutes. Just get the caffeine hook. It comes in from the side. Margot's a wonderful director here, so
This is my job will be to give him the old tonight when he goes off.
The fruit of your support. We'll see throughout the 90 minutes we're together this evening some of the things that have been happening, and to show concretely how your generosity, how your time, your talent, your prayers have helped us to grow as a parish. And so thank you again, and I'm going to hand it on back to Margot. Is that right?
What you're hearing in Father Murray's voice and words are pride. We're really proud of this parish and the things that are happening here. So we can't wait to show off some stuff for you tonight that we have prepared. Stephen's going to tell you how it's going to go, how the night will go. You ready, Stephen?
Oh, I'm ready. So tonight is going to be broken up into 3 segments. And Margot actually interviewed a few parishioners and asked them these 3 questions. Why did you choose MQOA? How has MQOA done? What has MQOA done in your faith life? And why do you support MQOA? So you'll hear their responses from parishioners that you might know, you might see on Sunday or online events. And it's great. And it's great to see when Margot pops into the video. So we'll have 3 of those questions in 3 sections, and highlighting everything that is great about this parish.
So we're going to show you some video clips from those conversations tonight. And we're also going to to a real live parishioner. That's later on in the night. And we also want you, wherever you are, whenever, be thinking about these 3 questions too. We want to hear from you especially during this live broadcast. Message us on Facebook or on our Give Butter page with your answers to those questions. Why did you choose MQOA? What has MQOA done, or is MQOA doing for your faith? And why do you support the parish? And you'll have a chance to make a donation to our grand annual collection and make comments about how you feel about the parish. And then Stephen will be watching those donations roll in, and we'll be able to thank people live this evening and let us know how we're doing. So Stephen, tell them how to give, just in case
Yeah.
you want to give.
So if you're watching this on Facebook, you can head over to givebutter.com/UR, letter U, letter R, MQOA. So U/UR. So let me give that again. Sorry,
Let's do that again.
saying it. givebutter.com/UR MQOA. And you can watch the video that you're watching online right now, and you can donate. You can see everything. I'm actually watching it on my phone, and it's so wonderful to see. You can donate big or small. We have a goal of $5,000 tonight. And we'll be like Margot said, we're going to be thanking you throughout the day. And we already have $475 donated by 77 people. So thank you, Karen and Marcel, Margot. Thank you so much for donating already.
That's very cool. Oh, that's exciting. This is a good start, you guys. Wow, we are so good at this.
Let's not count the chicken before they hatch.
All right, well, let's take a look at that first question. Ready? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Father Murray, tell us about what you think about this first question.
Why did I choose MQOA? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, not you. Tell us here. I'll start you. Tell us why you think it's such a great question. Why did you choose MQOA?
Well, yeah, right, exactly. Why did you choose? Here's why. Here's why I think it's a great question. And it goes all the way back to my youth. When I was in Lowell, where I grew up, there were 12 parishes, and everybody went to their parish in their neighborhood. There was no changing, and it was such a strict, almost a unwritten rule that you didn't even go to other people's parishes unless you were going to someone's grandmother's funeral or maybe a wedding. But other than that, you did not go to other people's churches, and so you just stayed in your own parish. I think in our own time, what we've learned in this time, the modern time, what we've learned is that there are people are free to choose, and I think that in our own time, people have decided that they're going to go out and shop a little bit, and that's so true that, for instance, when I interview couples who are coming to get married and ask them about their faith practices, and if they are not going to church, I gently say to them, here's something I'd like you to do. I'd like you to start dating on Sunday mornings. I'd like you to go to mass in all the different churches around this area and or around the area where you live, and afterwards go to breakfast and talk about what you liked about the church and what you didn't like about the church, and so you can find a place where you feel at home. And so that's kind of I think that's the kind of the crux of the question, is that people, I think, have come here, and because they've made a decision to come here, they've chosen to come to Mary Queen of the Apostles Parish, not just because it's nearby, although that sometimes is the reason for some, but also because of the spirit of the church here, the welcoming, the welcoming that we offer to those who are coming in search of spiritual home, the programs that we offer, the work that we're doing both within the parish and our outreach to whether it's evangelization and the message of Jesus Christ, or whether it's outreach to those who are hurting, to bring healing on all different levels. And so I think that people people who are here, people who are responding to our church, to our parish, are responding to our, as I went going all the way back to the very beginning, responding to our why we're here. And so they want to be here with us too, to help to fulfill that why. And all the what's in the hows that we do, all the different things that we do, I think that's the part that also attracts people. And so that's why it's a good question. I think that everybody can ask for themselves, why do I go to the church that I go to? What do I like about the parish that I go to? And so it's been wonderful to listen to some of the responses that we'll hear, and maybe some of you will also, those of you who are watching, will feel free to contact us with your decision. What's behind your decision to come here?
Yeah, we would love to hear from people telling us why you chose this parish. I can relate to you, FM. I was raised in in the Brunswick area in Maine, and we used to drive past one Catholic church to go to our Catholic church. And I remember driving past it and asking my parents, why don't we just go there? And they said, that's the French church. Who knew? We had to cross all the way across the next town to get to our church, but that was just the deal. You had a church that you belonged to, and it was sort of an automatic sorting of things. Now, Stephen, you are our staff millennial, and I think
token.
Your parish was like your neighborhood parish, right? Did you travel?
Yes, yeah, we I think it was the closest church, but also it was associated with my grammar school as well. So that really helped. I did have and still have some great choices in my area, but I started to go when I felt welcomed, when the youth minister at that time knew my name, and I was like, he knows my name? That's crazy, because I'm really bad at names. So I'm really impressed when someone can remember names. And that was in high school, and was very involved and led all the way to Salem, so I always try to be as welcoming as possible. I'm really bad at names, but I can
still bad
definitely
at
point
names,
you out.
but very welcoming.
I can point you out.
Right. I know your face.
May I just add one more component? I think that part of our church, our parish now is very much online, and I think that where I want to honor Steve to say that part of our online our online presence, I think, has been improving remarkably. It's part of it is because Steve brings with him a whole bunch of skills, the tech guy, as we referred to him earlier on, but also too and just an understanding that this is where a lot of people are now, and so why not bring the gospel out? This is the why we're here is for the gospel. How and what, I think Steve has helped to expand our sense of how, and so that's another reason I think why people might choose to come to our parish, because they can choose to also come through the front door of the internet, not only just the front door on Hawthorne Boulevard.
Right. Yeah, this is while we're doing this live tonight, still the obligation to attend Mass in person is suspended here in our Archdiocese, right? So a lot of people have been attending Mass online. And I remember in the first days of the shutdown, I went to Mass in Nova Scotia, and I went in Paris, and I went in Rome, and I went in my hometown in Brunswick. I went to Mass in my home parish. The world is your oyster, and we know that. So we really know that if you're coming to MQOA, whether it's in person or online, we know you're doing it on purpose. We know you chose to be here with us, and that you have literally a million options of other places to worship. So this is our way of thanking you for choosing to be here with us tonight. So we had some conversation. I had some conversations with parishioners, and I asked them this very question. You'll hear from Tom, from Julie and Sean, and from Marcel. Stephen, you ready? He's ready. He's okay.
It's from Alpha. Now, I grew up in that church, but I had been attending another church, and a friend of mine told me about Alpha. He said, "Oh, it's great. Oh, you got to come here." I said, "Oh, I know that church." And I said, "Yeah, that'll get me out of the house. I know that." And then I came to the church. He never came back. He didn't like it. And that's how I got hooked back in with the church, through people asking me, music, and things came up over the course of that Alpha, and that's how I moved my mission to Salem.
And I went to the 6 o'clock Mass at Immaculate Conception and a few times, and I really loved the community and the sense of, that fellowship that you can feel, even though I really didn't know anybody at the church, but I still felt welcome. And it's, the people, because frankly, it is the people who are the church, right? It's not the building or anything like that. And so I could definitely feel that welcoming and community type energy or feeling.
4 years ago, we were looking for a accepting church that would kind of walk us through getting married. I was interested in becoming Catholic, but didn't really know how to start. And a friend of mine at work over lunch, oddly enough, just recommended that I go see Father Dan Riley over at Immaculate Conception. And we were getting engaged at the time, so we wanted to find out, what we needed to do to really get the ball rolling. And I told Sean, since he was the resident Catholic at the time, to make the first connection.
I guess reflection of my identity, to be able to have that connection in both, not only languages, but with both cultures.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And it's the Catholic culture and family that, attracts me. But I do like that it's very much, so I feel like Mary Queen of the Apostles is very much focused on welcoming everyone. And it's also very Christ-centered.
For me, at least, it was first meeting the people in the parish. We knew many of the people had been there for decades. And I remember one time was after Mass, you and I had gone to get just something for breakfast, and to drink, and a couple walked up to us and said they had recognized us from Mass that we had just left and struck up a conversation with us, and we were really impressed by that. This kind of outreach to complete strangers, and they were welcoming us to the parish, and also just the conversations with people before and after. Everyone was just so friendly and welcoming. We really feel like we've found someplace that's unique, and there's a wonderful community. It's had many conversations with people from all walks of life at all different stages of life and at different points in their journey to Catholicism. And it's really fascinating to hear what people have to say and what draws them to it. I think one of the unifying themes, though, is its community.
It's always interesting when someone invites you all excited and they don't show when you stay, and it's like, I keep inviting him back.
That's great.
So far, whatever.
Oh, I love that one, Tom. That's so funny. The old bait and switch, right? Come check out my church. And then I hit the road. I love that. Thank you so much to our interviewees. You're going to hear from them a few more times tonight because they had such great things to say. Obviously, that's why we are using their video clips. We want you to know the good things that are happening in the parish through their eyes. Should we check the tote board? Is this a thing? This is like like the memorial, what's it called? The telethon. I'm thinking the word telethon. Yeah, this is like a telethon. And what's the tote board, Jerry Lewis?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to talk about the totals of donations. We are at $985. That's $985 by 9 people. So thank you so much. And again, if you're watching on Facebook, you can head over to givebutter.com/URMQOA to donate. We appreciate the big and small donations. So Scott Moran did 50 and Anonymous did 500, with another one did 10. So thank you so much for your donations.
That is so cool. Yeah, every little bit counts. Every small donation, every big donation, they matter to us. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you here tonight online with us is just to see how every dollar you give is put to work right here in the parish to support the ministries that mean a lot, we hope, to you. Now, I'm pop quizzing my co-hosts tonight, but we each also had a choice to come to MQOA, right? None of us were born into this parish or bullied into staying here by our moms or anything like that. So we each chose to be part of this parish. And I'm wondering, Father Murray, do you remember choosing to come here? I mean, I know you were asked to come here.
Yes.
But
yes, right. So can I tell the whole story? Or do you want me to use the?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So I was at my niece's wedding in South Carolina, Wilmington, South Carolina, where Charlie, our latest student from Boston College, comes from.
Yeah.
And so I got a phone call from the director of priest personnel, and he told me he was driving through Haverhill and wanted to stop in and see me, which that never happens because he lives in Quincy and it would have been way out of his way. And so he was coming up to ask me if I would be willing to make a change of parishes. I'd been in Haverhill for 10 years. And so he always says the same thing. For everybody listening in, this is how it works. The head of personnel says, the cardinal would like to ask you if you would be willing to take, if you'd be willing to take Salem or whatever town they name the town that, and then they name the parish in the town. And so he said to me, the cardinal would like to ask you himself. He'd like to invite you to be to his offices a week from now, and you can come and hear all the challenges and the wonderful part of Mary Queen of the Apostles. And so, and at that point, they didn't have a name for this parish, and so I said, sure, I'll come. And I was told very honestly, there were a lot of challenges. And I said, that's perfect, I'll take it. And, and so the director of personnel kind of sat back in his chair and said, well, um, this is wonderful. And so that was in May of 2017, or May or June, and then it took a few months to unravel everything, to begin the process of moving from one parish to another, and all of the kind of the unlinking that you have to do with both the professional unlinking, the checking account, and the auditing, and
Oh,
all
sure.
that to leave a place, but then also, of course, the personal unlinking. 10 years, wonderful, wonderful community up there in Haverhill, and there were three separate parts really: the Latino community, the Vietnamese community, and of course the American, the English community, and two separate parishes combined all of those. So there's a lot to let go of. And then, of course, um, I was asked to take a retreat and go on vacation, get some rest, and then that's the transition into August 1st, 2017. That's when it started.
You
And
hit the ground running.
I sure did. I came the weekend I came. There were I think the very first people I met were a couple who were getting married. I got here on a Friday and did the rehearsal on Friday evening, and I married them on Saturday afternoon at 2:00.
Oh, wow.
And that was my and then I had the 4:00 mass, and then the mass is the next morning. And
That's baptism by wedding, we call that.
that's right, yeah, and that's been a great theme. It's one of the great reasons why I chose coming here, because I had been told that there was tons of weddings, which I think is a wonderful moment in a person's life. And so to be able to be part of that, to accompany people, young couples and their families through that moment, and is just a great joy, great privilege. And so that's one. I know
I'm happy you chose
chose
us. I think
Yeah.
I'm speaking for the whole parish here. We're very happy that you chose to join us here.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and then, of course, there's also too. I come with the language skill of Spanish, and so so I'm happy to be part of that. Also, I think that that's been a wonderful part of the journey, is to get to know the Latino community, and bring us all a little bit more closely together to be one parish, and so
Yeah.
that's been a great blessing. It's challenging. It's all challenging, but and there are challenges here, as everyone knows. There's financial challenges, and there's the challenges of the kind of the brokenness of the city from a Catholic perspective, and there's the challenges of some of the things that we don't necessarily believe in that are here, and so to try to negotiate our way through that with faith and with generosity, with openness, with charity, has all been, I think, part of the great experience of choosing to be here. And so,
Yeah.
in doing that, I find that there's just you make a choice with the Lord. I think that he walks along with you, and I very much have experienced that. So it's been
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
And Stephen, you chose to be here 2 separate times. You've chosen him.
Yes, yeah. So back, back in 16, I applied for the job when it was a collaborative, and chose Salem because it really was future thinking. It was taking the old traditional CCD and moving to a model where it was family based and centered on adults, and it was great. We did a lot, and I started Alpha and prayer partners at the 6:00 mass, and but when before Father Murray came, before it was we had some financial issues and was laid off, I continued to be part of Alpha,
You never
which
left.
I really never left and really believed in it. And it was, it's something great. And those who are watching have been going through Alpha, I mean, it can be really life changing. And so many ministries have come from that. And one of it was with Christine, who we'll hear from tonight. And she started the food ministry, and then I took over and continuing to this day when we can meet, and then got hired again under this wonderful grant focusing on families again, but more with the millennials. And so it's just a really welcoming community, but it's also brave in a lot of ways of assessing what needs to be changed and move forward. I think this summer alone is just another example of how this community and the leadership just moves to better serve the people overall. And I'm so happy and I'm so glad to be part of that as a volunteer, but even more as a staff member.
And we are so happy that you chose MQOA. Thanks for choosing twice. Well, really, maybe just once, and you just kept hanging in. So really, I came here from, I think I was in parish ministry something like 20 years before I started here as a youth minister doing adult faith formation. I was working in a parish with my husband in Malden before I came here, in a really, really happy parish. I loved it there. But I read the job description for Salem Collaborative and couldn't resist applying. And I chose MQOA for the same reasons I think that Stephen has, and maybe you too, Father Murray, just that sort of willingness to try new things and new ways, and to let go of things that aren't working so well and keep progressing, keep moving into the future. I have never been able to quit this place since I started almost 6 years ago, 7 years ago. When did I get here? It'll be, 2014, January 2014. So, and I'm very, very happy that God brought me here and that I got to choose to be here too. We would love to hear from anyone who's viewing with us tonight, especially if you're viewing us live on Facebook or on our Give Butter site. If you want to make a donation, you can make a comment with your donation, or you can just comment on Facebook. Let us know why you chose MQOA. And we really would love to hear from you and be able to share your story. So, Stephen, tell us again how to give.
Yeah, so if you're watching on Facebook, you're going to head over to givebutter.com/URMQOA, and you can donate right on the right-hand side or at the bottom if you're on mobile. And do you want to do an update?
Yeah.
All right.
Is there
So
an update?
there is an update. We're at $1,100 out of our $5,000 goal. Thank you to the 11 people, especially Julie and Sean, who you'll see on these videos, and Christine Williams, who you'll see later on. Thank you all.
So
And for the
much.
10 viewers, we know that we have 10 viewers here watching, so thank you very much, and I hope that you stick around because we're shifting into our next segment.
That's right. Are we gonna do a little song break?
Yes, yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna do one of our friend Millie's favorite songs, and something that if you have been a guest on our Alpha groups, you'll probably recognize. So you can turn your lights down and sing out loud along with the music. Here we go. Back to when we were doing Alpha in person, standing at the back. When we started Alpha here at MQOA, I think it was probably 2015, Stephen? And started at St. James School, and then moved to the conference room at St. James, and then moved to the hall at St. James, and then added Spanish alphas in the basement at Immaculate Conception. And that song has been part of the story all the way through. I remember singing along to that story from the back of many dark rooms, surrounded by amazing people. And I think you'll probably start to hear a little bit about Alpha in the next segment, because we're moving into our second question. So our second question is, what has MQOA done for your faith life? Now, are you ready for your cue, Father Murray? Tell us why you think that's a great question. Why do you think that's a good question? What has MQOA done for your faith life? Excuse me.
I think that it's okay to talk. I think that everybody, I think that everybody it comes in search of, as you know, the first question, why choose MQOA? Why are you here? Part of it, we hope, is because we do have we experience a deepening relationship with Jesus Christ, and I think that's part of why did I choose MQOA? Hopefully that hopefully that I could come and experience that. As far as I think, faith life of people, it's what's so wonderful to see is when people's faith lives are beginning to expand. I think that one of the great challenges of our time is to, particularly for adults, and Stephen mentioned it a little bit about our shift in focus to help to educate adults about their faith, because I think that so often I see people who may have come along tremendously in other parts of their lives, but didn't continue to develop their faith muscle, the faith life part that was corresponding to all the other parts of their lives. And so I think I'm hoping that by our faith practices, by our programs, whether it's alpha or beta groups or any of the things that we do for education, help people to recognize how the Lord is with them in their journey, and that the journey is part of the destiny of all of us. That and we are to grow into a deepening understanding of who Jesus Christ is and what it means to live as a faithful disciple. And I'm hoping that all the things, and I know that that's our purpose, that we want to do that for everybody. And so I think you'll hear people talking just about that in all these film clips. And so that's I think why it's such a great question, that we have some concrete evidence that the work that we're pouring into the parish right now, some of the things we've been doing, the chances we've been taking, the programs we've been initiating and sponsoring are beginning to have an effect on people. And that's ultimately really what we're doing, is kind of changing the whole culture of our understanding of Catholicism in this parish anyway. And so what we're seeing, I see the beginning of the fruits of that. And so with that, I think I'll hand it over to Margot.
Yeah, thank you. That was beautiful. Perfect answer. It was as if you knew the question was coming. It was that.
There you go.
Just picking up on what you said. I know that we love our liturgies here at MQOA. We love the Mass. We love the Eucharist. It's part of our sort of mission statement that we're a parish that's really centered on the Eucharist, right? Everything we do comes out of and is inspired by and is fed by coming to the table every week. But it really, even though things have changed in the pandemic and we haven't at times been able to even meet at the table, or to who have had to have come to the table from our own cars or from our own homes, it's even before that, it was never just about an hour on a Sunday, right? We want to be a parish that feeds your whole week, your whole life. And that's why we do things like Alpha and our beta groups and all the other ministries that we work on and offer here in the parish. Here, it says we're live on Facebook. So if you're joining us here from Facebook, we want you to know that we had a little technical difficulty. You wouldn't, oh my gosh, you missed the most amazing stuff. Father Murray did dance. There was dancing, but unfortunately that's lost to time and no one will ever see it but Stephen and I, because we were here, unfortunately. But we are relaunching on Give Footer. So hopefully you'll be able to see us again there soon. How's that going, Stephen? Oh, you muted.
It should be live on Give Butter.
All right. Hello, Give Footer. Thanks for having us back. Very sorry that we used copyrighted music.
Yeah.
We'll never do it again. We promise.
Here's a case where it's not easier to get permission than forgiveness.
I guess. Yes.
Okay. So,
All right. I think we're back up and running. I see us here. So, Salem World Internet, welcome back to our fundraiser. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back on track now. Thank you for staying with us. Father Murray was, just as we got cut off, he was telling us why he thought it was a good question to ask, what has MQOA done for your faith life? Do you remember what he said, Father Murray?
I remember some of it. Let me try.
Just give us the best parts. Yeah.
The highlights, right. So thank you, Margot and Steve. Thanks for getting us back up, Steve. That was awesome. So I think that we just need to remember that that for me, the purpose, again, our purpose is our why is to help people connect to who Jesus Christ is and to bring people more into relationship with him. And I think that one of the, problems in the Catholic Church for a long time now, and part of the reason why we shifted gears here was that, or shifted focus was that I've met so many people who are so, have developed their careers in so many different ways, but when they come to matters of faith, sometimes because they haven't continued and weren't given the opportunity, by the way, to continue to deepen their faith life. And so I think that that's what we've been trying to do with all of our programs, whether it's Alpha and just beginning to talk about faith again in a honest way, in a conversational way, an adult way, and then all the different programs that we use, whether they're the beta groups or the different ongoing opportunities we have for just talking about your faith. Church is beyond the Sunday obligation, the Sunday worship. There's so much more to it than that. And so I think that as a result of that, our faith lives become a little bit more developed, and we're able to do our own outreach, whether we decide to become part of St. Vincent de Paul, or whether we become part of the teams, or whether we do other outreach in other places in the city for those who are hurting, or whether we become part of the healing team. All of that, I think, is an expansion of your faith life, an expression of our faith lives. And so I think that we're trying very much to give people an opportunity to do all that, and to find kind of as what they use in some areas, what is your superpower in your faith, and then allow people to say, this is my superpower. I'm really great at expression, so I want to be a lector, or I'm a person who really wants to be a greeter or a Eucharistic minister. I want to go visit those who are sick at home, or I want to pray over people. All of those are I think, an expression in the way of seeing that faith has an opportunity to expand in so many different glorious ways. It's all a gift from God. And again, I think that what MQOA has done for faith, both my faith too, to actually help me to trust God more, and and actually I think I'm learning to work a little bit better with a team of people, and so within a faith community. And so I think that's also a great gift a great thing to be able to say, this is how my faith life has been impacted by my time here. So with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to Steve and Margot. If we're going to have, maybe Margot is going to introduce our
yeah, I got it. Yeah, I just want to say that we here at MQOA, we love the liturgy, we love our Sundays, but we know it's never just about coming to Mass for an hour on a Sunday. We want to be a church that has an effect on the rest of your week. And I did have some continued conversations with our parishioners who answered that question, that very question: what is MQOA doing for your faith life? So let's hear from them. Stephen, you ready?
Mine's a little clearer because I became a Catholic with the parish, so it clearly deepened my faith. But in not only in learning, the ABCs of Catholicism, but then, as Sean said, you could ask questions. You didn't feel like if you didn't know something, you just were going to be, shut out. I felt I felt that my questions and questioning was very accepted. I also, appreciated the fact I love this. The Sunday evening mass was to me very warm and, as you call it, a mass for seekers. And I really appreciated the different opportunities we had to go to the morning Sunday mass, whenever that happened to be, and then that gives you one flavor, and then the Sunday evening was another, and I really enjoyed that. And the other thing that I think that's so great about our parish is the fact that we do have Salem has a very large Latino community, and we have Spanish-speaking mass, and we have English-speaking masses, and you are welcomed in either one, regardless of your proficiency in the language. And I appreciate that the parish is doing a lot to try to integrate the two where it makes sense, and also allowing for each individual style to maintain its individuality. And I like that.
Well, again, in Alpha, that's where I met some of the people, and I had no intention of going to that church. But being back in there, I was like, wow, yeah, I remember this church. I grew up there, and we started talking, and they played music, and I was like, oh. And in the conversations, those things came up. And during the course of that, whatever it is, what is it, 20 weeks, 18 weeks, whatever?
11.
11.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of other things. But anyway, I was invited. Would you like to, play, or would you be interested? And that's how I got more involved. Okay. I don't know where I would be in this day and age of what's going on if I didn't have what we have. Because I have sorely missed it.
Learning sessions that were held periodically or held periodically after the Sunday evening mass, those are tremendously helpful. Okay. I really wish more and more people would take advantage of it, because it's well presented. There's a lot of conversation. A lot of people ask questions, and usually preface it, not usually, they often preface it with, this is probably going to make me look bad, or probably going to get you mad if I ask this question, and it's anything but that. It's okay. I understand why you have a question about something, and then there's really good discussion about it.
One of the things I think I'm proudest about our parish is this openness that Sean and Julie talked about, this ability to feel safe asking your questions. And I heard that over and over in conversations with parishioners. They were able to be honest about their doubts or their questions or the things that they wondered about their faith. And so much of what we try to offer here in the parish is to create that safe space where you can throw those questions out and wrestle with them, and notice that the world doesn't explode when you express a doubt. And we learn so much as adults. We learn so much from each other just in hearing people's stories and being able to say, oh, this is a question I have too. So thank you to our interviewees for being willing to talk about that. They mentioned in their interviews Alpha, obviously. And they also talked about our teaching sessions. Father Murray and I often would do teaching series on Sunday nights after the 6 o'clock evening mass at Immaculate. And we're planning one for November and December, which will be online. It'll be on Zoom. We will not be showing any copyrighted music, so there won't be any technical difficulties. But we will be offering the prayer course, which is an Alpha offshoot. It's offered by the same people who brought you Alpha, and it's 8 weeks learning how to pray and walking through the Lord's Prayer and learning about prayer in that way. It's going to be very cool. So start saving your Sunday nights and join us for that, and bring all your questions. Stephen, how are we doing? What's going on? Are
We are doing great. So we're back at 8 people watching. So thank you very much for
Hi,
those who
everyone.
reconnected with us. And out of the $5,000 goal, we have made $1,360, so $1,360. I want to shout out to Michelle, who donated, and she said a beautiful way to spend the evening. And we had another one without a name, and they said many blessings, prayer hands. So thank you all for continuing to donate. This is a great cause, and thank you for staying with us, especially through that difficulty of tech. But we're back on track.
We're back. We're good. We got this. Father Murray, the funds that we're raising tonight are being added to our grand annual campaign, right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about what happens with the grand annual donations.
The grand annual donations, thanks Margot and Steve. Again, the grand annual donations are used pretty much year to year for different reasons. Sometimes we apply them sometimes to a specific project or a specific program. But this year, we're asking people to help us with our general operating, simply because we are, like everybody else, we're having a little bit of a downturn here. But the Grand Annual, I think, is an opportunity for people at the end of the year to just to recognize that, gosh, I really do appreciate everything that goes on in my parish, and I really do think that this is a good project that's been brought up, whether in years past, whether it was been for repair of the church or special, again, a special program, something was going to be added on. I can tell you that while we've been out of the building, we've been doing some work on the building, and so on the buildings, plural, both the St. James and kind of working on the lower hall to get it ready to be a worship space, and then over Immaculate, also the lower hall, we've done the bathrooms over a little bit, and also
they needed it.
Done some painting, yeah, and so we've done a lot of painting, and we're getting ready to make it a place that is just trying to be more welcoming, more comfortable. We've been working on some audio visual stuff. We're working on some lighting right now. We've had some people come in to take a look at repairing the ceiling at Immaculate, where the paint has been peeling off a little bit. So all of the funds we use, we try to be very, very careful about them. I want to say, give a shout out to our finance committee, to people who, step up and bring their wisdom, their superpower of financial capabilities to talk about in very, very careful ways, or really specific ways, talking about how all the funds are used here at Immaculate. I'm very, very proud to be able to say that with the Finance Council, with Andrea Savigny, who's our business manager, it's just, the value of every penny is made known, or is made applied to our parish. That I have to say that we're not frivolous, and so all the things we have, all of them go towards somehow supporting the mission, supporting our why. And so the finances are always, they're a realistic thing. They're a critical part of every parish. But the Grand Annual, I think, is an important part of the support of the parish. And again, it comes down to your generosity. So for those of you who are watching and those who've given, thank you very much. It's every penny counts in so many different ways.
Yeah, and Father Murray had mentioned earlier, talking about our 2 front doors. We know that, like we said, there are so many online options for worship in churches you can visit and pray with and attend online. And part of your grand annual donation helps us make sure that we have the tech needed to be able to reach out to people wherever they are. We would love would love people to say, oh, my church is Salem, Massachusetts, and I visit it every week from Topeka, Kansas, or whatever. We would love people all over the world to be connected to this parish, and your grand annual donations, your R MQOA donations help us make that possible. I sent out a newsletter a couple of months ago and said, we're always going to be doing online masses one way or another. And someone wrote back to me and said, why? Once we're back in person, why would we keep doing that? And I said, now that we know that we can, and we know that even if there is a cure or a vaccine for the virus quickly, soon, we know that some people are still not able to come to the church, or who are living far away and can't make it and want to be connected with our parish. And your donations help us have the tech that makes our liturgies and our masses, our ministries available to people everywhere, and safely and spiritually. So we thank you so much for that. And this is a good segue, I think, to our third question, which is, why do you support the parish? Why do you give financially to support the parish? And Marie, you already kind of talked about why this is an important question, right?
Right, but may I add a few things?
Yeah, yeah.
So here's kind of actually building on what Margot has said, but as far as our outreach to the world, right now we're having a Spanish Alpha, and we're doing Alpha in the Spanish language with the community. And we actually have someone from Bolivia, from Spain, and from, I believe, the Dominican Republic who have joined us.
So cool.
Yeah, and I know that in the English Alpha, the last one we had, I believe that someone came from across the United States. Someone was
Texas. We had a guest from Texas. We had guests from New Hampshire. My sister was with us from Maine.
So that's a reason. Yeah, that's a reason why we ought to remember that there's a whole group of people younger than me that whose primary means of communication is either with tech, with online, and they access so much of their lives, including their spiritual lives, through this means. And so I think that it goes back to all the way to the very beginning of our time together, when I said our why is certain. We're here to evangelize, but our what and how have changed. And so how we do this now is not only with the bricks and mortar, with our two beautiful churches to come in to pray in when that's available to us, but also to be able to be church, to be the people, as Marcel said earlier in the first video clip, that we are people who are gathering people together in Jesus Christ. And so now we have these two front doors, the front door of our computer screens and the front door of our churches, our traditional churches. So in both of those entrances and both of those means need to be supported, and they need to be taken care of. And so that's exactly why people offer financial assistance. And also, too, by your generous donations, by bequests, by occasional gifts, by sharing some of your treasure. And we know that this is a difficult time. We know that people are making sacrifices, and some people are continue to give even though they're not coming to church. And so that is just such an honorable and extraordinarily generous thing to do, to continue to support the church. And it supports all the work that we're doing. And in honesty, the work hasn't stopped. I mean, it's not as publicly available, but it certainly has continued, whether it's Stephen and getting together the First Communion and both in English and Spanish communities, getting together those programs, confirmation programs, the online Alpha, as we've mentioned, and the other adult stuff that we're planning, the classes we're planning. All that takes It takes time, it takes effort and resources. And so we depend on that from all of you. And so thank you very much for supporting that.
Yeah, we know this is a scary time budget-wise for people. And we also know that so many places ask for your financial support. There's so much going on. I think WGBH is right now in the middle of a pledge week. So sorry, NPR listeners from MQOA. You heard a lot of this week. But we do want you to know that we really value every donation that comes to us. We put it right to work here in your parish, serving people like you. So your money stays here to help the people that you know and the people that you don't know, the people that are seekers. Introverts, we see you. We know you're just as happy to sit at home in your pajamas with the camera off and check things out from the safety of your living room. And we want to be there for you too. I want to say too, you can also pay it forward. If you're in a situation where you're doing okay, if you have not lost your job in all the pandemic madness and you're feeling all right and willing to share, you can consider your donation a way of paying it forward. It takes about $65 to put someone through Alpha. That's including food and materials and merchandise, gifts for our guests. We really love to spoil our guests. And Alpha is sponsored and budgeted for by the parish and supported by donations all along. So if you loved your Alpha experience, would love to put someone else through it. We never charge for Alpha, never ask for people to pay for their Alpha experience, but it does cost about $65 a person to put them through. So you can donate that amount and send someone who you will never even know that you've sponsored through Alpha in English or Spanish. It also costs about that to put someone through a family through our first communion or confirmation preparation. That covers all their materials and helps defray some of the cost of staffing. So if your sacramental prep experience as a kid wasn't like this sounds here, and you want to donate to support giving families a great experience of preparing for sacraments, you can pay $65. You can let us know that that's what you want to donate for, and we'll put it right to work with families. Okay. We have one more video from my conversation with our parishioners, who I asked this question to, and I want you to see their answers because they're great answers. Ready, Stephen?
Well, I think I believe in putting your money where your mouth is. And to me, it's important to support the parish because it provides me with nourishment, spiritual nourishment, and I want others to be able to experience that as well. And, you know, hopefully through my support added to the support of others, it can have, you know, more outreach, or even with the people that are already there, continue to do the great programs that you do.
Well, the easy answer is because we want to. We are connected with this parish. It's an important part of our lives. I remember walking in one day and after a particularly difficult time in my life and feeling the comfort of just being at Immaculate Conception that day and saying to myself, this is home. And it really did feel that, and still do. It's a wonderful community. We like it. We believe in everything that's being done in the parish, and we want to support it. We all know as Catholics we're supposed to, and it's one of the 7, I think, requirements of being a good Catholic is to the best of your ability to support the church. And that's true and that's fine, but for us, it's something we just want to do.
In general, I believe that when you give, you actually get more in return, right? And that's what it feels like giving to the parish, that you just get so much more in return.
Love that. Thanks again to our interviewees. We love to hear what you think about how things are going in the parish. Remind you